I gotta talk about this live album that you came out with last year, which I absolutely love. Since the band came out with it last year, I believe it wasn't actually planned. So, what made you all decide to finally release this live album last year?
Well, funny enough, it was weird. It was almost like we had there was kind of a spooky premonition whereby uh, a lot of bands actually record quite a lot of their own shows. We've never really actually done that so much, and we had in it was October 2019. We were on the biggest headline tour we've ever done across Europe and the UK, and we were ending at the biggest London hometown show we've ever done. And we thought, yeah, it'd be nice to capture it, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we took the measures to record it anyway, just to like have for ourselves, maybe, you know, have some live tracks in the bank
yeah.
for whatever. And as it goes, it was such an amazing night. You know, it came out good
Oh, yeah.
live record wise, and just last year, obviously, all our rest of our touring fell apart for the swimming lessons campaign. And you know, rather than we didn't really have the money, you know, being like we usually like make a record off our own backs, and then we'll tour an album for like 2-3 years, no
Hmm.
problem, before we go to make a next one. Obviously, like with that getting cut short, kind of felt it was a thing that number one, you know, here's we can give something to people from the Skints to kind of, you know, show that we're still trying.
Yeah, yeah.
And number two, you know, people can't go to shows, so kind of have the Skints experience in your home as best as we can do it right now.
And I've heard you mention before about a nice time club. So, do you mind explaining what that is?
Sure. So so nice time is kind of our little, I guess, little Skints. I want to say slogan. We've used the nice time thing on a few things before. Like,
Hmm.
it came from me always saying on stage, like, you know, you guys having a nice time. And obviously,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of great reggae songs, namely the Wailers, Nice Time, and you know, Don Carlos, Late Night Blues, Nice Time, and things like that. So we did a few years ago. We did a party, like a pop up party in London called
Hmm.
Nice Time London. Um, where we had like we got like Jesse Royal over and New Kingston from Brooklyn. We had a few live acts, and in between the live bands, we had the Reggae Roast sound system on the other side of the room. So like it was kind of like a just a small, I guess, kind of festival set up in the room where when the live stage wasn't on, it was the sound system was just like running things. And that was the first Nice Time event. And then a couple of years ago, we did the Nice Time Pale Ale with Signature Brew, which is like a beer collab we did. And so the Nice Time Club came out of, you know, our inability to kind of tour and interact with people in the
Hmm.
physical at the moment, and kind of really take it back to that old school kind of fan club thing
Okay.
where like you can get, you know, you're getting things in the mail from us, like the welcome pack has got like we're doing like a zine,
Oh,
you know, you
cool.
get like your patch and your membership laminate
Yeah. Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. And you know, it's a lot of we get a lot of people that really like are constantly asking us for like kind of items that are kind of above and beyond like the regular like merch
Hmm.
realm, you know, like listen, this if you want to come and buy a Skints ticket or you want to buy a Skints t-shirt, that'll always be there for everyone that wants it. But there's
Hmm.
I think we're definitely at a point now, we seem to be at a point where there's people that kind of want the like next level Skints nerdery stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you kind of mentioned it a little bit about the being involved with the skin since elementary school. And I've heard that one person that really kind of made an impact on helping your vision on finding the music for the skins is your uncle. So how'd he help you in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about elementary school. Well, okay, so this is where it gets confusing, I think, for maybe some of the American listeners. So
Mhm.
high school in the UK is from 11 to 18.
Okay.
So Marcia and myself, actually, we'd known each other since elementary school. Before that, we were like 5 or 6 years old or something.
Mhm.
And we weren't like best friends playing in a band then, but we knew each other and were kids
Yeah.
in the same neighborhood and all that. And we met up with the other boys when we were in high school. My uncle Bill, yeah, he was kind of my cool uncle. From a kid, he was like putting me onto a lot of comic books and stuff. And then when he saw me start getting into music, when I'm kind of 11, 12, 13, and then I started vocalizing the kind of music I was getting into, put me onto a lot of stuff that I think really like altered kind of my musical direction, and then ultimately like my path in life. Showed me like a lot of, when I first said, I remember when I first said I was getting into ska, he was like, it was all like ska punk or whatever, because I was in skateboarding. I kind of found it through
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
He was like, ska, you don't know about ska. And there's like burning me like mixtapes of like tradition, like Scatterlights and
Okay.
early Wailers and early Toots
Oh,
and the
man.
Maytals, and do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
original
Yeah.
Jamaican ska. And then when I said I was getting into reggae and dub, he was like, right, cool, you got to listen to King Tubbies, you got to listen to Augustus Pablo, Lee Perry. And, this is at like 13 years old or something.
Yeah.
So I was kind of getting, yeah. And it's not like, it wasn't like every week, like making sure that I was like listening to the right stuff, but just the simple thing of like,
Yeah.
burning me like a mix CD of
Mhm.
something, and me like really getting into it and liked it. That, yeah, it's definitely hugely influential in that way. Would definitely when being at this age now and like talking about it and thinking about the journey,
Yeah.
I think that was for me personally, that was a huge factor. Yeah, so big up my uncle Bill, man.
And I've heard you mention before that I guess one of the first albums you listened to was Space Jam, so did he introduce that to you?
No, no, the Space Jam soundtrack, the Space Jam OST, I would have definitely just found out about that, being the age I was, through
Oh, yeah.
whatever the Warner Brothers marketing to children accessing me successfully.
Hey, I've been through that album too at a young age, and that's a dope album.
Mate, there's some absolute bangers on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Eh,
Yeah, that was definitely would have been the first time I heard like Method Man and LL Cool J and Busta Rhymes all on that track. I remember playing that a lot. I was like 6 years old when that came out.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I heard that you're a Star Wars fan too, so do you have a favorite movie from the series?
Sure. Yeah, everyone in the band's pretty big on Star Wars. Jonathan Doyle, our bass player, he's the main sci-fi guy in the band, I would say for sure. You should definitely be asking him this. Actually did a bit of a Star Wars marathon over the Christmas period. I think my favorite Star Wars movie is probably Return of the Jedi. It's between Empire and Jedi, but I think Jedi doesn't really get its ratings, you know, for I think like you watch that movie and it's like the franchise is like very comfortable in itself at that point,
Mhm.
and it's cool, man. It's got some great moments.
No, I'm glad you say that because that's actually my favorite too. I know, like, everyone
Yeah,
talks about Empire Strikes Back, and it's pretty obvious, like, why. It's because the big turning point, with, Darth Vader's relationship to Luke Skywalker, but, yeah, Return of the Jedi was always my favorite.
yeah, man. And it was really great in the Mandalorian recently too, to kind of like be back in that kind of like time frame, especially at the end of the second season, Mandalorian. It's like, wow, okay, cool. It was really nice to be transported back there.
So did you see the last trilogy films as well?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And what'd you think of the, like, ending of it all?
Uh, yeah, man. I think like for me, it's not a diss to anyone that was involved in any of those movies. For me, the new ones, like, they kind of got worse.
Mhm.
But I actually think Rogue One is maybe one of the best Star Wars movies ever. Honestly, like better than like definitely better than any of the new saga ones.
Yeah.
Definitely better than like the late '90s to mid noughties prequels. Thought Rogue One was really, really solid Star Wars film.
I'd say that and my theory is that a lot of people like it. It's because it's probably like the first or only of all the Star Wars movies that's actually like really serious. Like, I mean, even the end is
Yeah,
sad.
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
yeah, it didn't kind of, yeah, it didn't feel like too like kid, you know. It felt like kind of Star Wars for the older
Yeah.
viewer, maybe. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point.